Studio check.
Frequencies check.
We are live on air.
You are listening to the In Fact blessing the airwaves. Take the journey into the world of sports, news, entertainment, while embracing the hottest beats on the planet. Rocking the mind, body, and with energy, electricity, and a splash of controversy. Now, without further ado, it's our pleasure to bring to you
The biggest show in the world.
The biggest show in the world.
the biggest show in the world, the SBTV Nation.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Happy March Madness to you. This is Rob the Mad Hatter. We are the SBTV Nation, live right now on the air, and I got my man, the evil genius, Dr. Dan, on the line. Kid, how you feeling after yesterday?
Wow. I mean, you know, we were able to come back a little bit with Northwestern covering the 11 points, which, man, like we were talking about before the show, if they just played better, altogether better in that first half, that it might have been different. But then Villanova going down, and guys, breaking news, we can't find the Dream, but I got this like cryptic message that he just went down to start playing power forward for Virginia. I think he's going to play power forward for Virginia. He's going to be able to get at least 6 points a game. Okay, he may not have the ups he used to, but 6 points a game and like 3 or 4 rebounds, he'll get him over the hump of the 40 spot.
I think the Dream is just stung after all the beatdowns yesterday. My God. Wow. Well, you know what? I was fortunate enough to get Xavier to win on a money line, so that basically saved my entire day. Thank you very much. And you know what? The rest of it, I mean, I went down in flames with the under in the West Virginia Notre Dame game. Notre Dame just did not want to go away, and they kept draining threes, and it just kind of made that game go over.
Away.
But you know what? I mean, looking at the rest of it, I mean, obviously the biggest story of the day is number 1 Villanova, who will not repeat. So we will have a brand new college basketball champion this year. Wisconsin.
Real quick, though, isn't that like the 3rd or 4th time in the last 6 or 7 years that they've been out in the round of 32?
They definitely. I remember when we were in
2015, they had a bad loss before the year before they won. Right?
Yep.
I understand we're talking about a national championship team. I'm just saying, like, before we go anointing Jay Wright, he's had a lot of bad losses in this tournament. And look, give the opponent credit. I mean, they played a good game, but there is no way Villanova should have lost it.
Well, you know what, Dan? I'm going to have you hang up and call both myself and the Dream, because it looks like he might have heard us talking smack already, so now he wants to come on the show. So why don't you do that, and you can give me a call back, and we can get his ass on here. And we'll do that, guys. So we're talking about number 1, Villanova going down to Wisconsin. You know what? I can't wait to get my co-hosts back on here, because I told these guys to be careful about Wisconsin. This team, listen, they've been up and down this year. They lost like 4 games in a row, but it just seems like they just have the experience factor. Dream, are you there?
I am.
Kid, we're talking about Villanova.
I went down to play power forward
for
Virginia. Kid. I said, I know you don't got the hops you still got, but 6 points, 3 rebounds, you're going to get him over the 40-point hump, Dream.
I know you guys already opened up with Villanova.
Yes.
I need to talk about it.
You need to talk. You sound banged up, kid. You must have had it.
No, I'm good. I'm good. I just need to talk about Nova, man. I need to talk about, and I need to talk about, I need to stop. Guys, when you lose at gambling, please stop with, like, the extra outer world, like, the aliens came down and did it, because it's just a loss. Listen, public had nothing to do with the Villanova. Look, Wisconsin so outplayed Villanova yesterday. I mean,
Villanova
they're hard.
They choked.
Their heart was in it. They played their best game that they could ever play. And that being said, Villanova still almost won the game.
Yeah.
All right? You come down at the end. Hayes makes the most dude, the layup that Hayes put in at that last basket.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you want to do? Guys, you're playing with a ball, and you're trying to get a ball into a circular object that's 10 feet tall, okay? It takes immense talent to do it. For people to start with that, it's Vegas, it's this, there was too much money. Come on, man. I mean, come on.
No, Dream, and I'm happy you came on because I really wanted to vent more about this because here's another thing that I got to say. Forget all, this. Yeah, I'm with you. It's not a conspiracy theory. Where it is Jay Wright not being a very good coach. I'm sorry. There were times, I think, did they not end the game on basically getting, a 16-7 run or something like that? No timeouts called in appropriate spots. And then you have time. That game-tying play that he called up before, I'm sorry, that's not a legit play. Run down and get a layup or get fouled. No backup, nobody on the perimeter, nobody to stop. Come on. That was just bad basketball.
And that's a great point you make about the coaching, because my other issue in this is, all right, so Hart basically in the last 6 minutes of the game did the same thing every time he had the ball, which was drive it to the left and try to get a layup every time. He did the same thing. So you don't change up the play. You don't throw any ripple in. I mean, the last couple of times it wasn't working. You don't do something different. Also, if you look at the play, if you look at the other Villanova player, he's supposed to bring his guy out to the three-point line. That opens up the lane. That player on Hart's left-hand side reaches in, and he's the guy that really shuts down the play from happening. 100%. It was badly designed and badly executed.
And the thing is, and maybe I'm crazy here, but when you're watching the play, you had an open jumper from the foul line if anybody was there. If anybody was trailing, you had an open jumper. There was 5. You had time on the clock to kick it and put up a shot. That was just, look, like we were talking about before you came on, Dream, that's the 4th or 5th time in the last, at least 10 years, if not less, that Villanova's been knocked out in a round of 32.
Yeah, man.
Right.
Yeah, they just can't seem to do it, Well, they did it last year, obviously.
Either they run it, or, this is why Jay Wright confounds me. But no, there is no Vegas making that happen, guys.
Well, and so that was a conference champion that went down.
Sure.
It's the curse of the conference champion. Bottom line. So now your clear-cut favorites are non-conference champions. Non-champion from their conference. So you got Kansas, you've got North Carolina who both got knocked out, and you have a conference champion left who may not make it to past the next round. Dream, Arizona did not look all that impressive yesterday.
Yeah, but you're gonna have those games, when you don't look impressive. That's part of being a champion, and part of getting through. We've seen teams look dusty in the game before, look dusty in one game, and then come back the next game and look completely dominant. So I'm not gonna worry about Arizona. I don't have a lot of problems with Arizona. And by the way, St. Mary's is a little bit good,
and that's a good matchup for Arizona, honestly.
Yeah,
that was. I'm just saying, body type, the way they play the game. That's one of those where Arizona is kind of lucky to go through when you look at it in the end, because St. Mary's is used to kind of playing that style.
Yeah.
And Dream, I got to, ups to you on Purdue. Ended up being a close game at the end. The big guys were a little better than the small guys.
Yeah, the Purdue got it done. I was able to catch. Listen, first of all, I got to apologize. I was awful yesterday as far as my the picks and the outlook. I thought Villanova would get it done. I also was absolutely shocked at Florida State.
Well, Dream, Xavier beat the hell out of
Florida State. And but to Florida State's, I will give Florida State, the one thing I will say about Florida State, they couldn't buy a basket.
Yeah.
They couldn't buy a basket. They looked absolutely out of rhythm, out of sync. terrible. They could never get anything going. They could never get it to work. So I do need to apologize about that. And the bad thing is when you start off that abysmal with your day, you don't really want to believe in none of the rest of your picks. And because if I would have kept going, because obviously things got right with Florida, things got right with Purdue. Also, Butler ended up getting the win. So things did end up getting right. But the two bad starts for me just ruined the day.
Yeah, sure.
Had is already moneylining
Xavier to beat Arizona next week.
Okay.
Plus 7.5 right now.
I'm moneylining him.
Plus 7.5.
I am moneylining Xavier, just like I did yesterday, player.
I might ride that with you.
Okay. West Virginia, Notre Dame dream. Notre Dame would not go away.
Notre Dame in the ugly uniforms would not go away. And even though Notre Dame, I'll give them credit. One thing I will give Notre Dame credit for, they didn't give up, and their coaching staff tried everything in the playbook. They threw everything they could at West Virginia, but none of it worked. West Virginia, guys, some of these games, if you're watching them, a couple of these teams, you have seen them having like the games of their lives. Like you watch these teams all season and have not yet been able to see them execute like they executed in these particular games, which, it's mind-boggling. I talk about Florida State. Florida State on Friday could have probably beat the Cleveland Cavaliers, then turn around Saturday and can't, buy a bucket. Thursday, I should say. But West Virginia, same thing. West Virginia looked, there you go, Hat. Mm-hmm. West Virginia looked very shaky in their opener.
Yep.
Come back in the second game and look completely dominant against Notre Dame.
Right on. And my man
Fast, a super interesting game.
My man Fast Eddie is telling me that there are 0 perfect brackets. It's over. No one is going to get the perfect bracket. That's so hard to do. That's so hard. But looking at the rest of this here, Dream. We were talking about the ugliest matchup of the day being Virginia versus Florida. 39 points by Virginia. Damn.
Nothing really ugly about that because Florida just handled their business.
Yeah, right on. The game. Intriguing matchup yesterday. I thought it was a really good game, as a matter of fact. But the coach for Northwestern, I think, cost him the game with the technical. I understand why he went nuts, but Northwestern was on a tear in that second half, Dream.
Northwestern was on a tear in the second half.
The double non-call has been the worst call of the tournament. I'm sorry. You got a dude hanging on the arm, and then another dude through the basket, holding on to the basket.
Crazy.
So you either have to call one of three things: a foul, basket interference, or goaltending. Can you blame dude for not losing his mind? And he barely look. If that was Coach K, if that was Roy, they're not getting teed up. And I'm sorry, you cannot do that there. And that was a absolutely blown call.
And that would have put them within 3 points after being down like 20.
One possession. And the crazy thing is basket interference is like the one cylinder-related thing that's non-reviewable.
Yep.
There's a reason for that. That's crazy.
Oh, sucks. But you know what? Northwestern goes down, but the Zags move on. You know what, guys?
Cover, though.
I didn't in cover, so good call on the plus 11 double-digit dog, Dan. And the final one, Butler over Middle Tennessee. Middle Tennessee gets that one surprise game and then loses in the second round, same as last year.
Same as last year. I do want to go back 1 second, if we can go back to West Virginia for a minute. We do need to look at West Virginia and teams that play a full-court press, because as Hat and I was watching the game yesterday, well, we didn't watch together, but we were watching it, but we're talking back and forth. West Virginia's press speeds up the game.
I agree.
A lot.
I agree.
And it killed even though it hurt we were kind of in there for the under for a minute, but I definitely think if West Virginia wasn't a full court press team, we would have definitely hit that under in that game. But because of that press, it speeds up the other offense, and it's going to make them capitalize on probably taking a shot earlier than expected, or whether it's good or bad. And it also speeds up West Virginia's rhythm, because if you miss it, if the other team comes out and misses a shot, West Virginia gets the rebound, then they're off to the races as well. So moving forward with West Virginia, we may need to look at that and look at unders, especially in over situations when your total is, I don't know, what do you think, about the 144 mark?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah,
I think we would have been. I think we would have been money there.
You know, here's the thing.
Press would have been money.
But here's the thing, and I think this is where West Virginia gets exposed. When you run the press like that, if you can hit a good outlet pass, if you can't cover the perimeter, you can't do it because you have too many guys pressing, and then you have your other guys basically covering the guys that are down low. So if you can have an outlet to the perimeter, and that's what Notre Dame was able to do, and just drain those threes. That was a tough one, but you guys are right. I mean, I don't know. I expected more turnovers, and then Notre Dame just didn't go away.
All right, so we got a tie for first place right now in our bracket challenge. You got Bud Cheddar tied with JP, and there's a couple of other teams that are tied with them.
You don't have to announce Bud Cheddar because he let everybody know.
Unfortunately, for the other three teams that are tied with them, they had Villanova as their national champion, so they are in big trouble there.
Oh yeah, you're in trouble there.
Yeah, definitely.
If you lost your champion already, you're pretty much shot.
Yeah, unless there's a team like a Xavier, USC, or something like that wins it. I mean,
Yeah, but I'm saying if you've lost, that's basically the kingmaker right there.
Of course.
So. Hey, I love all the people that are taking it into the round of 32 and saying, "Oh, I won this already." We'll see what happens.
Right on.
Hot right into the y'all. Hot right into the second chance bracket.
Yeah, no doubt.
The Sunday forgive everybody go to church.
Yeah.
Pray a little bit.
Yes.
And then we got Sunday basketball.
All right, guys. Let's get right into today's card because I want to take a look at this and bounce this stuff off you and see what you guys got up your sleeves, and we will discuss it. So going right into it, it's Sunday the 19th, and the games start right at 12:10 Eastern Standard Time. You got number 7 Michigan versus number 2 Louisville. Louisville minus 3.5, under over of 142. Dan, you think Louisville beats Michigan?
I do.
You do? Okay.
I do. I like the coaching a little better in this game. Louisville is another one of those teams. It's tournament time. They just seem, to turn it on. This Michigan team has been a little bit blessed, and I think that ends today.
Okay.
Louisville. Can they really can they really lose this? I just can't see them losing this game. I just can't see it. They've been so good all year. There's a reason they're a 2 seed. I understand that there's been a little bit of up and down the stretch. But again, they're just a team that seems to turn it on. I'm going to buy the hook. I'm going to take Louisville minus 3.
All right, both of these teams failed to cover their spread in the first round of the tournament here. But looking at it, Michigan has won 6 consecutive games. But when you go to Louisville, they have not covered the spread 6 out of their last 7 games, Dan. So just be careful with that. Dream, what's your thoughts? Louisville with that defense versus Michigan?
2 really contrasting styles. Louisville's going to want to slow down, play the half-court game. Michigan's going to want to run a little bit.
Yep.
A lot more of athleticism on Michigan. Michigan has a lot of momentum going into this game.
They do.
Louisville does, in my opinion, I think Louisville gets the nod. I don't love Louisville in this spot, but I think Louisville gets the win. But this is a dangerous game because if Louisville is unable to slow Michigan down, I don't think that Louisville can match Michigan offensively.
No, I don't think so either. Even though Louisville actually averages more points than Michigan. But Michigan, up until recently, they were totally up and down. Very inconsistent. Just when you think, they rattle off a couple of wins, then they would have that questionable loss and make you scratch your head. But the same thing with Louisville, though. I don't like either one of these teams, guys.
Well, the thing about Louisville is I like that, obviously we like their coach. They have a winning coaching staff. So we already know what he brings to the table as far as experience in the NCAA tournament. The other thing about Louisville that you like is they do play very good defense. And if you play good defense, you're going to be around in games for the most part. So the problem with Louisville is kind of a lethargic start and kind of, they can be slow at times. They're not really dazzling and impressive as far as their offense is concerned. That is the thing that I think that bothers you. But they're a blue-collar, blue-chip team. I think that's enough to get them a win today against Michigan. I think that they're they're a smarter team than Michigan is. So I'm going to give the nod to Louisville today.
Yeah, and you know what? The rebounding edge is, astronomical. They're averaging about 40 rebounds a game, where Michigan is about 29.
Yeah, because coaching them to box out.
Yeah, definitely. All right, guys. Well, you know what? I'm not playing that nasty game. I wish you the best of luck there. We're going to go 240. Wichita State number 10 versus number 2 Kentucky. Kentucky minus 4.5 with an under-over of 151. Dream, did the Shockers get shocked today?
The Shockers do get shocked today, but it's not going to be a shock because they're playing Kentucky. Malik Monk should have a field day with this Shocker team. We talked about, I really like Calipari, and in a couple of my brackets, I did take Kentucky to win. Not in the one that we did, but some other ones. I do have Kentucky as one of my winners, and I told you yesterday because I know he will shut down his guys shooting 3-point shots and make them stop, drive the ball to the basket, and play sound basketball. That I love out of Calipari, and I love he brings that to this game. Wichita State, the only thing I'll say about them, I did not like their last outing. They weren't that impressive to me in the last game that they played. Mm-hmm. So does that mean they play better this time? Because sometimes you get that, like I said, you see a team play crappy one game, then they play better the next game. I still think even if Wichita State plays their A game, Kentucky's athleticism will be too much for them. And Kentucky's, they're another great winning coaching staff. I'm going to go with Kentucky. I like Kentucky to win, and I don't mind the 4.5. I buy the hook off of it. Why give the half a point? I get it to 4 for Kentucky, but I think Kentucky covers the spread.
Well, it's opened up at Kentucky minus 2. Now it's up to 4. And both of these teams have some of the longest winning streaks in collegiate basketball. Wichita State 16 games in a row, and Kentucky has won 12 in a row. Dan, what's your thoughts?
I like Kentucky here as well. Okay. Again, I agree with everything Dream pretty much said. Like the athleticism, I don't think this is a Wichita State team of a couple of years ago that's really due for this magical run. I think Kentucky has been undervalued coming into this tournament. I actually like money lining Kentucky with another play that I'll get into later, but I'm gonna throw that as the first part of a money line parlay.
All right. The total in this game, guys, is 151.5. Do you think that this game will be a little bit of a slower pace than the norm between these two teams, Dream?
It's going to be, it's another, who's going to get their will? Who's going to play the way they want to play? I don't think it's going to be slow. To be honest with you, the Shockers want it slow, but I don't think the Shockers going to be able to dictate. So I don't think it's going to be slow. I think there's going to be a medium to fast paced.
All right, just so you know, the under.
I agree with that too.
The under has come out 7 out of the last 8 games with Kentucky and 4 of the last 5 with Wichita State. Those unders have been coming to form a lot between these two teams. So
I hear you, but here's where I think you can get burned on the under. And this is just playing devil's advocate because I'm not playing it. I think Kentucky is super athletic, like we said, right? I think they're going to score a lot of points. If Wichita State is going to stay in this game, they're going to need to be shooting a high percentage from the perimeter. If they start shooting threes, you're going to get burned.
Yeah, exactly.
If they start making threes, you will get burned. So that's all I'm saying on that.
All right, sounds good. Moving on to the next game here, number 9, Michigan State, impressive victory over Miami. Unfortunately for them, gets to play number 1 Kansas. Kansas minus 7.5, under over of 148.5. I have Kansas to win the national title in the SBTV contest. I think Frank Mason III is going to light up Michigan State. Michigan State's a decent team, but they're young. You got the experienced coach, but I just don't know. I think the seniors of Kansas are going to get the job done, and they're going to win this game, and I would not be surprised if they won by 8 or more. Dream, what's your thoughts here?
Michigan State is that big question mark team for me. Watching them this season, thought they weren't that good, but they were supposed to be good. Mm-hmm. They never panned out for them. They never got it right. But all of a sudden, here we are in the tournament, Izzo, and a little bit of magic. Sure. I don't love Kansas. I don't love Kansas. I talked about them most of the season. Don't really love Kansas, but got to give them respect for what they do. Don't like the coaching staff, but got to give them respect for what they've accomplished as far as, regular season play and beginning rounds of the tournament play. Kansas, Mason, you look for Mason to get it going. You look for them to make it happen. You hope that Kansas's experience is going to overcome the youth of Michigan State. Izzo is going to have his guys prepared for this game. It's got a stomachache written all over it. I think Kansas wins the game. I think they got the better team, but I'm not crazy about Kansas.
Dan?
Second part of my money line parlay, and it pays even money.
Okay.
Kentucky and Kansas.
All right.
2 Ks. Because, look, the number is a little high. And, I don't love this Kansas team as much as you do, Hat. But I still think they don't really struggle here. Kansas should get the win. But that spreads, what is it, 7.5 right now?
Yes.
It's a little, I don't know. That's like begging, take Michigan State on the number, but I think Kansas definitely wins the game.
Statistically, if you look at these two teams on paper, Kansas superior already in like all the stats here, like everything. Offense, defense, Michigan State has the edge as far as points per game, but points differential, offensive rebounds, field goal percentage, free throw percentage, three-pointers, steals, Kansas is superior here. I like Kansas to advance. So I'm going to take them today. And we'll go from there. Moving on to the next one here. You got
the number?
I'm not going to lay the number. I'm going to money line them.
Right on.
Money line them with another team.
Okay.
Number 1, North Carolina Dream.
Talk to me.
Your boy,
Flowers.
Roy Williams.
Slow singing.
Playing number 8, Arkansas. Arkansas is not a bad team. 26-9 on year, but UNC is giving double digits, giving 11 points.
Bring the beat down a little bit. A little bit of Flowers, a little bit of slow
All
singing.
right.
Get CSI in the building. It should be a drubbing.
Okay.
It should be a drubbing. North Carolina, I'm telling you, nobody can run with. The only team that could run with North Carolina got beat yesterday is Florida State. These other teams can't run with this team. They got the full package, except they got the coach that sometimes can be a little bit tricky, a little bit funny. However, he should be okay. Arkansas is unfortunately way out of their league right now. I got North Carolina winning this game. Will they cover the 11? I don't know. So what I would do to be safe is put 8 on it, 8 on the points, or even go with the 10-point teaser. You put 8 on it, you get it down to 3. North Carolina should definitely win by 6 or better.
North Carolina does cover very well. 6-2-1 against the spread in the last 9 games. Dan, where you at here?
So here's my thing, and I don't know if you guys agree with this, but the reason that I'm suspect about Kentucky, right, is the SEC stinks.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the SEC it's really, maybe third or fourth in conference play. I mean, I'm with you. The more I look at this, the more I think, you know what? I might get this down to 10 even. I think this is one of those that ends up being an annihilation.
All right. Well, you know what? If you look at it on paper, North Carolina is far superior to Arkansas. So, hey,
in everything,
anything can happen, though, guys. So let's go over to a couple more games here. We got number 11, Rhode Island versus Oregon. Oregon minus 5.5. Under over of 140.5. I can tell you this much, that I like Oregon today, and I think they'll be part 2.
Don't nobody tell me about Rhode Island.
I'm about to tell you about Rhode Island.
Shock the world. Shock the world. What do you got here?
Last time Rhode Island lost was a month ago.
Okay.
A month ago. On the road, at home, playing great basketball. I'm not saying they're going to win this game. They're covering the 5 points. They're going to make this a hell of a game. This is the one spot. I love this Oregon team. This is the one spot that I looked at when I was going through my brackets, and I was like, oh, God. I was like, this is the tough one for Oregon. And I want to see Oregon, Kansas. That's like the game I want to see.
Yep.
I could see URI getting the upset here.
Oh.
They play incredibly good basketball. Fundamentally sound. They can match up with Oregon. I really think that they can match up athletically, talent-wise. And, I mean, I know not a lot of people want to hear about URI, but, man, I think that this is a very good matchup for them.
Okay. Well, you know what? Both teams are pretty good defensively here. Dream, what you got?
I got Oregon beating Rhode Island. I don't think it's going to be close, but maybe it is. I haven't really seen enough of Rhode Island to adequately, as far as the eye test is concerned, to adequately tell you what they're capable or not capable of doing. I just do know that this Oregon team is very good. Now, I still think that Oregon, I've said it before, third best team in the Pac-12. I think it's UCLA, it's Arizona, and it's Oregon. But this Oregon team is very, very potent. They can run the floor. I think they're a bit undersized, just a bit, but Rhode Island wasn't a behemoth to me. Rhode Island wasn't that big as far as size is concerned to me, so I don't think they'll struggle with that. I like Oregon to win this game. I think they cover the 5 actually, but be safe. You got a couple of great opportunities for money line parlays and or teasers. I think you can add this to your parlay or teaser and you're good. And I think that a North Carolina, Kentucky, Kansas teaser, 8 points, stupid.
Not bad. Dream, did you take the Pac to win the championship?
I did.
You did? Because you got teams alive in all 4 regions.
I got teams alive in all 4 regions. I did. I'm feeling good right now.
So just one more thing I want to add to that is Oregon does have no 7-footers, but a couple guys in that 6'10", 6'11" range. But so does Rhode Island. So I still think that this is going to be a super. I think this might be the best game of the day. I'll just say that.
Okay. All right. So let's move on to the next one here. Number 11, USC versus number 3 Baylor. Baylor minus 6.5 versus a 26-win team with an under-over of 143. Guys, I'm moneylining USC. I think they got the magic charm. I think they got the Cinderella slipper here, Dream. I think USC beats Baylor today.
Yeah, give me your thoughts. I'll end it.
I kind of thought that hat's crazy with this USC team.
Okay. Thank you.
But here's the thing: they keep proving me wrong in the most craziest of ways.
It's nuts how they're doing it too.
It is completely insane, and it's like, I guess it's like one of them inverse reactions when you got an insane person making insane bets and an insane team doing insane things, then they're going to make you win money. So I'm just going to stay away from this game. I think USC gets drubbed. I think that they get run out of town today.
Drubbed.
I think that Baylor, they come from, serious tests, night in, night out. I think USC, while they're in the Pac, they get tested too. But, man, I'm just going to stay away because, there's some voodoo magic on this.
Dream, let me ask you a question. Pac-12 versus the Big 12, which conference is better?
Ooh.
Because they both have the same amount of wins.
Yeah, I know. I agree. I'm going to go – I'm biased. I like Pac-12, so I'm biased right now. This was a Pac-12 season for me that I really got vested in this Pac-12 thing. The one thing I do want to say, though, and not to skip around your question, I would go Pac-12 to answer that question. But the one thing I want to say about USC got beat up in the Pac-12, man. Cal beat them. Utah beat them. Oregon beat them twice. UCLA beat them twice. Arizona beat them. They even lost to Arizona State. USC was not the dopest Pac-12 team. And, we talk about insane. It's insane that they're really even here because they weren't even, remember, that was a writing game. They were really actually almost on the cusp of not even getting invited. Now, I know that they invaded the party and they beat SMU. And once again, I'm not going to go crazy about USC as much as there were some issues that I saw with SMU in watching them. One, I don't think that challenging. That conference is very challenging. Two, they only had 6 players, so they had no type of rotation. Their size was undersized. Those things are going to be problematic, especially if you're not making perimeter shots because you're not getting a rebound on USC when your average height of your guy is 6'6". Okay, so I think that had a lot to do with that loss for SMU against USC. You're not going to see that today against Baylor. Baylor's got some bigs. Baylor's got some guys that can bang up with you. Baylor can get physical if you need be. Baylor can also play a slow down game in a half-court game better than I think SMU was able to do. I like Baylor to win today. I think Baylor is effective. To be honest with you, I felt like Baylor would lose if they played SMU, but playing USC worked in Baylor's favor. I think it's an easier and better matchup for Baylor to play USC than it would have been to play SMU.
All right. Well, are you taking it or no?
I'm on the edge only because I got too much other stuff that I like too much. And the money I got banged up yesterday, so I got to.
You're right though, Dream. SMU should offer to trade places with Rutgers.
Right?
All right.
I'll be like, yo, look, you've been getting murdered. We'll just go right in there, get a little more competition. But no, you're right. I think this is a tough one, but Hat, I need to hear why you think this USC team is going to win.
I have just seen the inconsistencies of Baylor this year. And you know what, guys, if you go back and you look at the body of work for Baylor in the last 5 games.
It's better than body work of USC.
Total disagreement with you. That's not that Dream. That is one of the farthest from the truth statements ever. Because if you look at I'm just pulling it up right now. Look at what Baylor's done. Okay, last 5 games.
Oh, last 5. I'm sorry.
Last 5 games.
I missed last 5.
They beat New Mexico State. Okay, they were an 11-point favorite. They lost to Kansas State. They lost to Iowa State. They beat Texas. And they beat West Virginia, but they beat West Virginia in their own house. Now, when you take a look at,
they held Kansas to. I mean, they didn't win that game, but 2 points. 2 points.
Yep. USC came 2 points from UCLA, and they're 4-1 in the last 5. SMU and Providence, obviously, you know what happened in those games. USC has got the momentum here. I like USC to win the game. I'm taking them. That's it. That's where I'm at. So. Hey, maybe I'll have crying Jordan on my face afterwards.
There's going to be some crying Jordan for you, player. The bridge stops today as far as USC is concerned. I know they got a lot of momentum. Got a lot of momentum coming in, but you're getting to CJ.
All right. All right, well, let's talk about number 7, South Carolina versus number 2, Duke. Duke minus 7.5 versus a 23-win South Carolina team. Under over of 142.5. I am dying to see Coach K crying Jordan's dream. After this game. Dan, I'm going to start with you with the Dukies. Where are you at here?
I think that Duke should roll. I'm just going to stay away from this, though, because, Duke is that team all year just bit me right in the ass. Mm-hmm. All year, Duke has found a way to just line it up and kick me right between the legs. So, and I just don't think the South Carolina team, even though they're in that pitiful conference, I don't think they're as bad. And I think they might give Duke fits at times. I expect Duke to win, but I don't think that they cover the 7.
Dream, I know you're all over Duke now all of a sudden.
Oh, of course.
So,
it's not all of a sudden. I am all over Duke because Duke has showed me the maturation of a basketball team. I mean, they matured this season. I've watched them grow this season and mature, and they showed me. And then you add Coach K to the narrative and talk about the success in the NCAA tournament. Come on, dude. Here comes South Carolina. Really? Stop. You know what I mean? I got Duke getting beat, but not by South Carolina. So, I'm rolling with Duke. I got Duke winning this game. I think they definitely would win this game. I don't think we don't need to talk about Duke and what they do. Kennard. We talk about all of their players and how they get down. They can beat you from the. Don't let the threes drop because then you're getting blown out. They can beat you with the 3-ball. Perimeter shooting's dope. They can take the ball inside if need be. They can run. They can do it. There's a lot of elements to this game that they can do. South Carolina's just up against a juggernaut today. I don't have South Carolina winning. I got Duke winning 7.5. I think you're good. I think Duke will win by 7.5. But it's teaser day. Put them in a teaser. Put them in a money line parlay. It's not going to kill you. They can remove the points from these situations because you never know what could happen. Dumb refereeing, dumb calls. So get rid of the points.
All right. South Carolina has been one of the worst teams against the spread in the last 11 games. 2-9, guys. Nasty. But they're a 23-win team, and you never know here. And you know what? The way they came back versus Marquette was insane. I mean, they just pounded them in the second half. So maybe they carry that momentum. But Duke has won 5 straight games. But Dream, Duke has the curse of being a conference champion. So I think that I'm going to stay away from this one. I don't like it. Final one on the ticket. Wow, Dream, you must be torn here with your squads. Number 6, Cincinnati versus number 3, UCLA. UCLA minus 4 with an under-over of 154. Dream, you like UCLA?
Kid, did I just not talk about that American Conference being booty and SMU right now watching the game with crying Jordans all over their face? And now you're coming to play UCLA, the second best team in the Pac-12? Yeah, no, I'm not torn at all, other than pay me. And hopefully Cincinnati can get out of that conference next year. No, I got UCLA winning this game, dude. UCLA, I like Cincinnati. I think Cincinnati's a good team. They play very good defense, but UCLA is dope. I love UCLA. They're only giving 4 in this spot. I love the 4. I think that's a great number. Then you can play this game straight. You don't need to parlay and tease it or any of that. It's a nice straight play, and it's the late 9:40 game as well. So that'll work even more in our favor to help clean up the mess if there are any surprises.
All right. Well, I can tell you this much: that UCLA is the top scoring team in the nation, facing one of the best defenses in the nation. But as you said, Dream, Cincinnati plays in the American Conference. Dan, where you at?
UCLA.
All right.
In a drubbing.
In a drubbing.
I love this UCLA team. I think, there's when Dream said it, I'm actually with you. I think that the Pac is probably the best conference out there. I think also that UCLA has a lot to prove. And again, when you're going up against this terrible conference, you got to do it. And double-digit win.
My thing is SMU murdered Cincinnati.
I don't see how. I just don't. There's nothing here. I'm a little confused by the number, honestly.
I know.
Because I'm going to take an adjusted line here.
How many points you giving? Like 10?
I will give 8.
8?
I was going to say, I think you give up to 8 too.
All right.
I give up to 8.
Yes.
I'll give up
Cincinnati
the 8.
can get real ugly offensively.
Yeah, I could see that.
I also like, guys, in a lot of these games, we haven't really touched on it, but is instead of game unders, I'm loving first half unders.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because a lot of these teams, they're starting off and they're feeling each other out. It's like a boxing match. And then sometimes it picks up and whatever. But I kind of like that for this UCLA game. But, man, I'm not seeing how this isn't an absolute destruction.
Wow. Complete and total annihilation. Cincinnati puts up about 74.5 points a game and only gives up 60. So that's pretty interesting. But
that being said, they'll be tied with
I think UCLA advances as well, guys. I just don't know if I'm going to take it. I don't know yet. I think I'm going to go with just Kansas.
Trust me, around 9 o'clock, you'll hit me with a text. Hey, player.
not if USC wins on the court. I'm gonna sit back and celebrate at that point if they do.
Yeah, you could keep the champagne on ice, player.
All right.
In fact, you need to be concerned about Kansas moving forward.
Oh, stop. All right, guys, so that's going to do it for NCAA basketball. Let's move over to the NBA and see if there's anything that we got up our sleeves here because, Dream, I don't know if you noticed that the Cleveland Cavaliers got crushed last night.
Oh, my God, dude. 108-78. They got beat by what is going on with them? Did I not talk about the parties in LA?
You called it.
Did me and Dan not talk about that yesterday?
Yeah, we talked about it though. We talked about the Cleveland Cavaliers. I mean, the Clips were hungry for a win. I mean, it was in their building. Cleveland.
Yeah, that half or 3/4 or 100% of the Cleveland Cavaliers, including most likely their head coach, was out partying until like 6:30 in the morning.
Plus he rested my boy. He rested Irving. He rested Korver. Kev Love was out in the building, but in a suit.
They're in LA to party, not to play basketball.
Let's just discuss real quick the NBA. When the major players are sitting, how bad they get murdered. Because you know what? I would have laid that 13.5 all day long if I knew that. I was just so entrenched in college basketball, I didn't even pay attention to it.
And that's the thing. College basketball yesterday, and especially the loss of Villanova. You know what? I shouldn't even say loss of Villanova. The loss of Florida State. Because the loss of Villanova made me just redo my stuff because it was a parlay anyway. So now I redo it, but I go Florida. But I have Florida State now. I wish Florida State started earlier so I couldn't get it in, because then I would have bounced back in my day. Because by the time Florida State pounded me, now I'm like kind of devastated for the day, and I can't even get over to look at the NBA stuff. I can't look at nothing else because I'm like ticked off and not thinking like, geez, maybe I just need to back off today and fall back because it's just not happening. But I didn't get to play that game either, Hat. And I feel like you feel kind of ticked off about it.
Yeah, I am. I'm mad because I mean I love doing double-digit dogs, but when you got Cleveland's main four sitting, I mean, come on.
You think you're more upset than all the people that are holding a ticket to the Cavs winning the East? Because I just that's another thing. The Celtics are now only a game and a half back of the number one seed. Okay. The Wizards have been playing great basketball, and even the Raptors, not bad, right?
Wiz got beat yesterday. Dan, I meant to talk about that too.
They did. Which I thought the Wizards were going to win that game. I mean, but all I'm saying here is even if they get to 2, and right now they match up against Miami in the first round, they're still getting games for Miami. Okay, I think right now the Cavs, the way they're playing basketball, you guys think that they survive a series against the Celtics?
Yeah, absolutely. It's LeBron James in the playoffs. Totally different.
I'll believe it when I see it.
Yeah, you know what? This is actually better because it's going to make the odds get more favorable.
It's a scrappy series, though. It's not quite the walkthrough.
4-2.
Unless there's some changing between now and the end of this with this Cavalier team, that series is going to be rough.
I remember LeBron
victory.
losing Eastern Championship Finals before had to. You know, we're not talking about Jordan here.
Yeah, when?
It's not even that, though. It's this team.
It was the Celtics back in the day.
Oh, no. I'm saying, though, I mean, LeBron has logged a lot of minutes, okay? And I understand that's why the rest have been doing all this now. But it is the team. It is the team in that when he hasn't had, a solid team around him, man. I don't know. I mean, because he's going to be tasked with putting it all on his shoulders. I get you that. But by the time those Eastern Finals rolls around and he gets a play, and he's going to, now the thing is, they got to play out hard the rest of the season. You got to play out hard the rest of the season. You're probably not gonna sweep the first round, definitely not the second round. Then by the time you get to the finals, how banged up are you? And then the thing is, unless the Cavs actually win the championship, nobody cares. And that's all on him. That's a lot. That's a lot for anybody.
All right.
Even the best.
Well, we got some games going on tonight, guys. I don't see anything I'm involved in. You know what? I'm all college basketball right now, so it's hard for me to kind of gauge other than taking double-digit dogs here. I mean, Cleveland is playing at the LA Lake Show tonight, so what a good way to come bounce back, considering the fact that they don't even need to travel.
You like the Lakers plus 11 hat?
I'm going to have to because I have this little system thing going on, but I think Cleveland beats the hell out of them, to be honest with you. But Dream, you got anything in the NBA?
I got nothing in the NBA. I'm like you. I'm vested. Today's a big day for college basketball. I want a huge bounce back as far as I'm concerned on college basketball. I'm not going to touch the NBA, even though the Celtics are only giving 5 to the Sixers, which that's a puzzling line.
Yeah, it is a puzzling line.
Again, maybe, I mean, it's Sunday game. Who knows who's playing that game?
Yeah, you got to see who's.
The Cavs, though. Lakers stink, and the Cavs got embarrassed. Minus 11.5 right now. The Cavs might blow the Lakers out, though.
Who doesn't blow the Lake Show out?
That's what I'm saying. You might want to look at that. That's a 9:30 start. The Cavs might blow the Lakers out. They got embarrassed yesterday, so somebody got yelled at, and somebody said, all right, shut down the parties. Enough now.
Yeah, right.
Don't go getting beat by the Lakers.
Right on.
So you might want to look at that. I don't know, but other than that,
if I'm the owner of the Clippers, though, I'll tell you this, though, and this is a little off topic, but I'm pissed off. I'm like, you're going to rest your guys when you play my guys? Like, that should hurt the draw. And then you go into the same building against the Lakers. Like, all right, I'm going to play them all. All right,
Oh
let's
yeah,
do it.
that is a smack in the face. I agree with you.
It is a little bit of a slap in the face.
That is a slap in the face.
All right, so guys, and what you should be doing right now as far as collegiate basketball is you should be shopping your futures. If you got a couple of teams alive right now, you might want to look at the teams that you think might be their rival in their respective regions and punch them in as well, because I got to be honest with you, Wisconsin's looking pretty good at a 33-1 right now. They look pretty good. Just saying. So, where else are we, guys? Dream, are you doing hockey today?
Hockey, yeah, we're gonna get into hockey. Sharks got me yesterday, last night.
Oh my God, kid.
It was bad. It's just bad. The Oilers won, Edmonton won, but San Jose lose 2-1 to the Ducks. I'm trying not to lose faith in San Jose, but I'm starting to lose it as far as going down the stretch. However, I do have faith in the Avalanche stink, and they're playing the Blackhawks tonight. Chicago Blackhawks. I haven't really played the Blackhawks much at all this season. They've been quietly just winning. Taze and Kane doing their thing like always. So Blackhawks are going against the Avalanche. Blackhawks are home. Definitely like the Blackhawks. And also Pittsburgh Penguins against the Panthers. Pittsburgh Penguins are at home playing the Panthers like the Pittsburgh Penguins. Columbus is playing the Devils. Columbus will probably beat the Devils. I've talked about my inability to have success with Columbus, so I'm not going near them, not touching them. I like the Penguins and the Blackhawks.
All right, sounds good. Why don't you? Hey, you know what? Even if you were to take the Colorado Avalanche plus 1.5, it's plus 100. So they got to win by 2 goals.
Hey, Dream, what about this future? A team from the Metropolitan Division to win the Stanley Cup.
A team from the Metropolitan. What's it pay?
I gotta find it, but I
okay.
gotta look at it. But that's the thing. That's the thing. I'm thinking right now because the Caps, the Blue Jackets, the Penguins, the Rangers would all be in first place in any other division in the league.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Not bad. Not bad at all. All right, boys. So that's going to do it for us. So I think we're going to recap everything that we're on, and we will have the conversation and see if we can bounce back here. Well, if you guys can bounce back anyway. Let's go. Dream, where you at?
Oh. Go play some daily fantasy.
You know what?
Just saying.
Let me get in here. Let me thank everybody that's retweeted the show and listening to the madness. And sorry about my late arrival today. Jay Snyder's in the house. Terrence Matt, what's going on? We got OJ, FB, KMBU, Benjamin Rowe, Jeff Ryan, Jim Roman's a douche, Urban, Cash Action Bets, Spot Bet, Bud Chetty, G Rose, Tanakis, CK Wiz. We got Fast Eddie 72, Direct Sports Solutions, Joseph Del Rosario, Big Spell 92661, Super Mario to the Bank, and Theory Bashard, just to name a few. Okay? Here's where your boy's at today, looking for a bounce back day. I have not figured out how I'm putting them together today, but it's probably going to look something like this. Probably going to be an 8-point teaser with North Carolina, Kentucky, and Kansas. I'm on the edge about Oregon. I don't like to do more than 3 teams in these teasers, so it's probably going to be North Carolina, Kentucky, and Kansas. Then it is going to be one straight play with UCLA -4 to clean up the mess and to save my day if anything bad goes. I'm also taking a little look now after I mentioned it. Taking a little look at the Cleveland Cavaliers. I might have to throw the Cleveland Cavaliers in there because I don't think Cleveland is going to get blown out 2 days in a row, and that Laker team is bad.
All right. Dan, where you at?
So we're going to stick with a couple things here. We're going to go with that money line parlay that's even money, Kentucky and Kansas. I like that. We're going to go with Rhody. We're going to go +5 on Rhode Island. And then we are going to end the night with UCLA -4. And if you're in one of my DM groups, I'll hit you up later. I'm looking at adjusted lines on that as well. That's where I'm rolling today. I definitely expect this to be a bounce back day. Best of luck to everybody out there. Catch you next weekend. The American League prospectus is done. The National League will be done soon. We will present it next weekend.
All right. Sounds good, guys. So here's where I'm at. I'm going to do a money line marathon here. I'm going to add North Carolina, Kansas together, and then I'm going to punch in Gonzaga when that game comes. Because I'm still feeling the Zags, to be honest with you. And I'm going to money line USC. I think USC beats Baylor today. So it's a +225 right now. So that's where I'm at. And the line has gone down now. So that's pretty much it, guys. We love you to death. Be careful today, man, because I'm sure a lot of you guys are licking your wounds. But hey, good luck to you today. Go out there and get that money. Let's go.
Peace.